to be on that day in Lockerbie. It transpired that our PSU was actually deployed to Tundergarth, which is just outside the town, which is where I think everybody who's seen any of the images will recognise from the point of view that it's where the cockpit actually fell to earth. So I drove up there with the rest of the PSU unit, and we were fully briefed in this small kirk, in the small church that was directly opposite where the cockpit actually laid in the field. And we were then told that we were on body recovery all day at Tundergarth, because there was an indication that there was obviously quite a number of bodies in that location. It having already been sort of a primary search and sweep of the area, you know, involving obviously local staff and army staff that had been drafted in after the incident had occurred. And then we left there, and we found out, following the line of the wall that runs away from Lockerbie and away from the kirk, and then we swept up the hillside opposite where the cockpit was and away from the kirk. I mean, the briefing was very specific in relation to what we were actually required to look for. You know, they explained that it wasn't necessarily just a case of looking sort of on the ground at eye level. If you were in trees or in forested areas, we needed to be aware that things might have been up a bit higher. But anything out in open land, they explained that because of the height at which things have obviously fallen from, we needed to be aware of any impact marks in the ground that would possibly indicate where items or bodies had actually landed. You know, because a lot of the ground above there was reasonably wet and quite boggy in places, and there was always the possibility that, you know, items and bodies